Hi everyone, we're just waiting a few more minutes until more people join. Hola a todos, pronto vamos a comenzar la sesión, vamos a dar unos minutos más a que se conecten más personas. Dear participants, welcome to today's presentation, the second session of Halal Opportunities for Black Exporters series. My name is Manuela Vasquez and I'm part of the ConnectAmericas team. For those who do not know ConnectAmericas, it is an online business platform created by the Inter-American Development Bank to help small and medium enterprises access to international markets. Before continuing, let me switch to Spanish for a minute in order to welcome our Spanish-speaking participants and to explain them how to turn on the translation. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a esta sesión de hoy. Mi nombre es Manuela Vázquez y hago parte del equipo ConnectAmericas. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Les quiero recordar que la sesión de hoy será en inglés, así como la sesión de la semana pasada, pero tenemos servicio de traducción simultánea, de interpretación simultánea, que lo pueden activar en la barra inferior en el símbolo de globo que dice interpretación. Allí deben escoger el canal de español. Muy bien. Ahora, siguiendo, voy a volver al inglés. So, first of all, in name of ConnectAmericas, I want to thank Halal COW Serunai and the Islamic Development Bank for facilitating this training session. And of course, to Mr. Mohammad Jamal, head of Halal Center of Excellence, who is today, again, the speaker of this session. I remind you all that the webinar will be open to questions at the end. Therefore, I kindly invite you to share your questions through the chat. We are also going to start with the questions that some of you sent us on Tuesday through the question box that was sent through email. So thank you very much for attending this session. And Mr. Mohammad, the floor is yours. You are muted right now.
Okay, thank you, Miss Manuela, for the warm welcome. Buenos dias and very warm welcome to all the participants today. I am Jabal, representing Serunai Halal Center of Excellence, and I have Mr. William today, who will be the translator of the event. Before we begin, I would like to record our sincere appreciation to Inter-American Development Bank and also the Islamic Development Bank for facilitating our collaboration. And through this webinar, we hope to be able to share about the halal opportunities for the global halal market, especially today for the LAC exporters. To continue our halal series last week, today we have a very interesting and important topic that is halal critical ingredients and materials. Next. All right. So this is the program outline. As you can see here, we are going to cover topic number 1, which is definition of halal ingredients. Number 2 is the sources of halal ingredients. Number 3 is identify halal ingredients. And number 4, some of the issues and example of halal critical materials. Next, our objective of discussion today will be to identify sources of halal and non-halal materials, and then participants should be able to define halal critical materials and also to summarize management of materials in halal facilities. Next. So what is halal definition? To recap the previous session, for those of you who have attended and also for those who are new to this session, according to halal standard, halal products are defined as number 1, no non-halal animal. Number 2, no impurities or no najis according to Sharia law. Number 3, does not intoxicate. Number 4, no contact with item A, B, C. And number 5, no human parts. And number 6, safe, not poisonous or toxic to human. Number 7, last but not least, prepared in manner which is free from najis or filth according to Sharia law and also doesn't involve in contamination. Next. So the scope of halal. The scope of halal can be divided into 2. It covers things that we use on daily basis as food or other than food. Number 1, things that are edible and ingested, such as food, supplement, drinks. Yeah. And then number 2, things that is inedible, but we use it in daily life, items that we didn't ingest, but we widely use, such as cosmetics and attire, such as clothes, shoes, or leather product. Both need to be permissible to use, and it has to be free from najis according to Sharia law, safe for consumption, and suitable for human being. Next, elements of halal products. It should be halal and toyiban. Always remember this word, halal and toyiban. Halal, which means permitted. Toyiban means wholesome. It is common in the halal market for people to use the terms halal and toyiban interchangeably due to a perception that whatever is halal is also halal toyiban. But actually, the two terms carry 2 different meanings. The former implies compliance with fundamental Sharia parameters, while the latter goes beyond those fundamental to invoke enhanced features that make something is good, pure, and wholesome. For example, junk food that comply with halal certification requirement may be certified as halal. Such certification tells the world that this product do not contain items or ingredients prohibited by the Sharia law, while simultaneously complying with the specific legal provision prescribed by the law of the land. But although they are certified as such, eating junk food is unhealthy and could lead to many health issues. Thus, halal certified junk food are halal but not toyiban. Toyiban can also define element of how the food was produced from the beginning of the process, such as from quality assurance of raw material, receiving of the product, processing and transport, cleaning of the product, until up to the waste management. Yeah, right? Okay, elements of halal production. When producing halal product, few elements to consider to ensure the halal status. Number 1 is ingredient used must be permissible according to Sharia law, safe and non-toxic. Number 2 is equipment, utensils and tools need to be specific for halal production only. No interchangeable of processing between halal and non-halal production is allowed. It need to be made of permissible material by Sharia law, maintained and did not impose risk of contamination to the product. For example, brushes, leather gloves, chopping board, and others. It has to be derived or free from the animal sources. And then number 3, processing aids. Processing aids are the material that is used or added during processing, but later removed from the final product, or some additive added to food. For example, water filter, grease, and lubricant for machineries. The processing aids also need to be made of permissible material. Okay, elements of toyiban. Apart from the material, you must also consider, number 1, the environment and condition during processing. This is very important as it plays a role in determination of the halal status of material. Material may be halal, but if the environment is not halal, the result will be non-halal. Number 2, we're going to look at the processing. Halal product processing should also tally with the other food safety or quality requirement such as GMP, HACCP, or others. It is very important for the processing area to be only for halal production. It has to be physically separated and dedicated for halal production only. Number 3, handlers or workers. The food handlers or the workers need to maintain their cleanliness and good hygiene practices in preparation, during preparation, and post-processing. This is something similar with requirement of food safety. It is clearly mentioned in Good Manufacturing Practice Guideline. Yeah. All right. Next topic will be sources of halal ingredients. According to Malaysia's standard for halal food, MS 1500/2019, halal materials can be obtained from multiple sources, namely the land and aquatic, animal, plant, microorganism, and mushroom, enzymes, drinks, natural minerals, and chemicals, and also genetically modified organism. Let's look at sources number 1, which is animals. So animal could be divided into 2. Number 1 is land animal. Number 2 is aquatic animal. So all land animals are considered halal, except there is specific ruling mentioned in the Sharia law. The exceptions are, number 1, halal animals such as sheep, cow, and chicken. This is considered as halal animal. However, it needs to be slaughtered according to Sharia law. There is a term and condition that must be followed by the slaughterman or any manufacturer or any abattoir to ensure that this halal animal is slaughtered according to Sharia law. All right. Number 2, pigs and dogs and their descendant. This also include any byproduct and material made of these animals, such as gelatin, bristle brushes, or lard. And number 3, predatory animals or carnivores. Birds, eagles, owls, vultures, which have fangs, long tusks, or sharp beaks are also prohibited. In addition to that, these animals are also prohibited. Next. In addition to that, these animals are also prohibited. Number 1, pests and or poisonous animals such as rats, cockroaches, centipedes, scorpions, snakes, wasps, and other similar animals. These animals are known as they are vectors for some diseases. Number 2, animals that are forbidden to be killed in Islam, such as bees, woodpeckers, and etc. So why bees is forbidden to be killed? Because one of the main reasons, bees help in pollination and they produce honey. So honey is source of food. And number 3, repulsive creatures such as lice, flies, sagu caterpillars, and etc. are also prohibited. However, it depends on the degree of the country and the local culture and practices. This is very interesting because there is still room for further deliberation. For example, Muslims in Malaysia consume all kinds of seafood like fish, crab, calamari, prawn, or even pufferfish, or even jellyfish. Otherwise, but at the same time, Muslims in India and Pakistan only eat fish. Okay. So as for the aquatic animals, all are considered halal except for number 1, poisonous and intoxicating animals such as jellyfish and puffer fish. However, for example, if the toxic part is eliminated from the puffer fish, it can be consumed and it will consider as halal. Number 2, amphibians of animals that live both on land in water such as turtles, crocodile, and frogs are also not allowed and considered as non-halal. Okay, and then skin of halal and non-halal animal except dogs and pigs and their descendant is permissible to be used as clothes, shoes, and other leather product after properly cleansed through tanning process. Next, plants. All plants are halal, okay, except those intoxicating, poisonous, or hazardous to health. Some plants are meant to be used as drugs or medicine. However, people tend to misuse for other purposes. So we have to look at the limitation to consume this kind of plants. Yeah. Right, next. Next will be microorganism. So basically all microorganisms and mushroom are halal, except when it is poisonous or hazardous to health. I am sure you are familiar with sauerkraut, yogurt, or kombucha. These are an example of microorganism and mushroom-based products. Some important points to consider when using the microorganism and mushrooms are: number 1, the origins of the microorganism. For example, the strain used in probiotic drinks was originally derived from baby stool. However, it's become halal after years of processing in the lab. Number 2, media or condition where the microorganism is cultivated. Popular protein sources are blood, which is not permissible. Next, enzymes. Enzymes are protein molecules that are present in all living things. Enzymes speed up chemical reactions and act specifically according to their substrates. Do you know that the enzymes can be obtained from plants or animal or by fermentation from microorganisms? Although it is from the natural products, it may derive from non-halal sources. These are the example of enzymes commonly used in food industry and its function. For example, we have a food industry which is related to dairy product. Widely used is rennet, lactase, protease, which is sources from the animal. The function is to cheese making and milk clarification. Then we have fruit juices. Enzyme and sources is pectinase. The function is for juice clarification. All right. Next is drinks. Drink is quite straightforward. Intoxicating drinks are not halal. For example, alcoholic beverages such as beer and wine, although it is made from halal sources such as plant, such as wheat and grapes. So drinks basically all are halal. Yeah. Alcohol derived from alcoholic beverages are also considered as non-halal. Next is natural minerals and chemicals. Natural minerals and chemical, all mineral and chemicals are halal, except those that are poisonous, intoxicating, or hazardous to health. Example of natural minerals are salt, mica powder that is used in shimmering cosmetic, and the natural gases. Cosmetic that contain alcohol made of petroleum, plant-based which not involved with alcoholic drink production, and synthetic alcohol are permissible to be used. This statement is also applicable for alcohol to be used as solvent in food flavoring and colorings. The alcohol content are subjected to certain limitation depends on the country by decree. Next, genetically modified food, or we call it as GMF or GMO. Food and drinks containing products and or byproducts of genetically modified organism or ingredients made by the use of genetic material of animals that are non-halal by Sharia law are not halal. This is very interesting topic. A lot has been shared about genetically modified food, but in halal perspective, as long as the product or the ingredient is halal, the result will be halal. If one of the ingredient is non-halal, the result will become non-halal. Next. So this is example, common example of genetically modified food. For example, we have corn, soy, cotton seeds, papaya, rice, peas, dairy products, tomatoes, potatoes, and rapeseed. Okay. Next is potential issues in halal processing or toyiban. Material receiving, preparation, processing, or manufacturing, packaging, distribution, retail, storage is under scope of toyiban. Okay, so it's not just a matter of ingredient, it's also a matter of how you handle the product. Halal practice in production or toyiban. These are issues in each of the halal processing step to be looked at, which is also an element of good manufacturing practice, GMPs. Issues in GMP, number one, is the facilities and environmental needs must be considered. They have to be well maintained and designed to facilitate process and maintenance of cleanliness. Then, all equipment and processing aids have to be free from najis and in good condition to avoid contamination, as well as specific for halal. The building material of equipment and processing aids should also be considered and made of halal sources. Number three, processing area, transport and storage dedicated only for halal production and physically separated from non-halal production. Number four, employee must be competent, well-versed with halal requirement, and then equipped with enough information and able to implement halal concept in their work area. Next. So how to manage the halal ingredient? Number one, let us look at how to identify halal ingredients. Number one, for halal certification, the materials are categorized into three categories, namely as number one, critical material. So what is critical material? Raw material with high risk associated with non-halal. For example, animal-based products except seafood. Yeah. Secondly, we have semi-critical material. Semi-critical material is raw material with low risk associated with non-halal. For example, the processed plant-based and seafood products associated with other material or process. And number three is non-critical material. Raw material with no risk associated with non-halal process or outcome. For example, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fresh seafood, and eggs. So this is the decision tree of identification of halal material, critical ingredients. How we determine this is critical ingredients. For example, look at the E471. So what is E471? E471 is emulsifier. It is considered as critical material. Why? Because it can be obtained from animal or plant origin. Shall it derive from animal origin? A halal certification is needed as a proof of its status. Yeah. Next. And then we have sample of semi-critical ingredient. How to identification of halal materials. Number one, soy sauce is known to be made of soybean. However, additional of other additives such as flavorings and stabilizer, as well as the alcohol content, may arise because of the fermentation process. Other issues is regarding processing area, where some soy sauce are traditionally produced in very poor and unhygienic conditions. So although soy sauce are made from soybean, it can be non-halal because of the alcohol content, because of the additive, because of the processing area. All right, next. Fresh fruits. So this is non-critical ingredients. Why is non-critical ingredients? Because simply it is made of plants. So no issue for plants. Whatever derived from plant, if it's in the fresh form, it will consider as halal. As long as it is fresh, it is halal. So here you don't need halal cert for fresh fruit. All right, management of halal ingredients. For the critical ingredients, you need to have valid halal certificate, which is from recognized certification bodies. And you also need to have valid slaughtering certificate from recognized certification bodies. For semi-critical product, you need to have, the best is to have halal certificate from recognized country or recognized certification body. However, you have an option to prove it halal by providing product specification, product process flow, or other document such as ingredient breakdown, MSDS, Management Safety Data Sheet. And for the non-critical ingredient, as I mentioned earlier, no document needed because by nature it is halal. Okay, next. Global halal certification bodies, as you can see here, I always say that you need to source your halal ingredient from recognized certification body. Yeah, so this is a few of certification bodies, halal certification body that recognized by government of Malaysia. We have like more than 84 certification body from the 46 countries. Yeah, so some of it is located in Latin America. As you can see here, number one, we have Islamic Center of the Argentina Republic. Then we have Fambras Halal Certificación, LTDA, in Brazil. And then we have Centro Islamico de Chile. I believe it is in Chile. And then we have Centro de Divulgado, Islam para America Latina. I'm not sure where this CDL is located. All right. Okay. So how to manage your halal material? You have to look at the schedule. Number one, you need to know the ingredient names. And then some of the ingredient may have scientific name. Why is very important to have the scientific name? Because then only we can find further information about the ingredients. And then from there, we can determine the ingredient, the source of the ingredient, whether from the animal sources, plant sources, or other sources. And then we need to have manufacturer name and address, halal status of the ingredient itself, and then halal certification body, validity or periodicity of the halal cert, as well as the validity of supporting document. Yeah. So for those in red color is critical. So it is compulsory to have halal cert. Semi-critical, which is if you don't have halal cert, you can also providing product specification or product process flow. And for green color, fresh vegetables, rice, fruits, or fresh seafood, you don't need to provide anything, yeah, because it is non-critical. Excuse me. All right, issues related to critical meat materials. Yeah. As you can see here, number one, we have issue with improper slaughtering of halal animals. Why? They are not following Sharia requirement. It will cause the animal to become non-halal. Those all material derived from the carcasses will become non-halal. Issues number two, ingredients made of non-halal material. For example, non-halal animal or from non-permissible materials, it is called najis, such as blood, placenta, human parts, anything derived from it will become non-halal. Okay, so this is an examples of critical raw materials. Animal derivatives such as fat, protein, gelatin, collagen, fatty acid and its derivatives, salts or ester of fatty acids, glycerol, glycerin. And a lot more such as amino acids, edible bone phosphate, calcium phosphate, blood plasma, globulin concentrate, fibrinogen, microgrowth media, hormone, enzyme from animal pancreas such as amylase, lipase, trypsins, and then we have taurine, placenta, or milk products and their derivatives and byproducts which are processed by enzyme. For example, cheese, whey, lactose, casein, caseinates, and vitamins. Some of the vitamins may derive from animal-based sources. Next is plant-based material. Wheat flour could be enriched with vitamins. So even though wheat is halal and wheat is derived from the plant-based, okay, however, it can be non-halal because it is enriched with vitamins. And then we have oleo resin used in chili spices may contain emulsifier. C, soybean lecithin using phospholipase as a processing aid to improve its function. And D, hydrolyzed vegetable protein HVP may use enzyme in hydrolysis process. And then example of critical material for microorganism. A, media for growth, not made from non-halal material such as blood from porcine source. B, enzymes used in their production process is not derived from non-halal sources. C, additive or processing aid is not derived from non-halal sources. For example, antifoam derived from blood, glycerol, or other similar substance. D, microbial recombinant, genes derived from non-halal materials. For example, insulin hormone resulting from E. coli recombinants and genes from pig pancreas tissues. Other derivatives such as aspartame made of phenylalanine and aspartic acid, natural coloring, flavors, seasoning, vitamin coatings, emulsifiers and stabilizers, antifoams. So this could be a critical raw material. So every time you're buying these ingredients, you may have to ensure that this product have the halal cert. All right, and then potential issue with equipment and processing aids. Other than the raw material, the processing aids, tools, and equipment can also contribute to the halal status of materials. Ingredients, additive, processing aids may contain animal or human or porcine and or its byproducts such as placenta, cysteine, lard, gelatin. And then processing aids such as enzyme may originate from porcine and or animal slaughtered, not according to Muslim rites. And then solvents may be alcohol-based. GMO may contain genes with originated from porcine and or animal slaughtered, not according to Muslim rites. Okay. And then we have issue with processing operation, cross-contamination with haram materials. Because of improper processing, it causes contamination between two areas or between two ingredients, halal and non-halal. All right. So this is an example of tool which is considered as non-halal. Bristol brush. Yeah. Brush made of pig hair is considered as non-halal and prohibited in halal processing. And then we have activated carbon as a filter. This is normal activated carbon used in water filter. And it is said that activated carbon are made from the animal bone. Some said sources for halal activated carbon are made from charcoal. All right. So where can you find halal ingredients? You can source your halal ingredients by looking at Verify Halal. Use Verify Halal to find halal ingredients because we are connected to 12 CBs and we have 2.2 SKUs from 2.2 million SKUs from 50,000 companies. It is widely used in 172 countries and 4,492 cities consumer search. So some of the feature is you can find halal product by smart search, scan barcode and QR code of halal certified products and premises. Halal product, sell it here and found it here tagging, where you can actually tag your friend, or you can let your friend know that the product is available in some other place. And then for brand owner, they can have the statistic of product performance. Okay, and then it supports multiple languages, including Espanol. All right, and then there is an Islamic section where you can find most by using this feature. And then there is a latest news from certification bodies globally. And then we have Verify Halal Weekly Code and Global Halal Community Support responding to queries from VH users globally. Okay, so as for conclusion, number one, choosing the right material is crucial, especially during the product development stage to avoid loss in the long run. Number two, with proper understanding on the ingredient sources and critical status, the effort to choose the right material will be easier. Number three, by using the right method, maintaining and managing the halal material and halal product will be easier. Number four, apart from having the right processes in place, understanding the critical ingredients involved, having a proper technological system in place will also help you in the long run. In conclusion, it may seem a little overwhelming at first, but with proper training and guidance processes in place and having a proper technological system, it will help you to obtain and maintain your halal certification, but also run your business in more proper and profitable manner because it will enhance consumers' trust in your brand. Thank you so much. As you can see here, should you have any questions, you want to contact us, please do so by email us at info@serunai.com or call us +601133627641. Thank you so much. Over to you, Manuela.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad. Well, we have some questions here, and we have as well some questions that were sent through the email on Tuesday. So starting with the first question, what is the ruling regarding cross-contamination between halal food, such as a steak, and any haram seafood? Is it allowed to have the halal food cooked from utensils that were used for the haram seafood? You're muted.
Sorry. So that is what we call as contamination. It is not permitted. It is not permitted to have interchangeably equipment. For example, using a same pan to cook halal food. At the same time, you are using the same pan to use non-halal food. So it's not permitted because it can cause contamination.
Thank you. And which is the main difference, in a few words, between critical and semi-critical ingredients?
Okay, so critical is basically something like this. For example, sausages. Sausages is well known made of animal. So directly we know it's critical because it is animal-based. So for that, you need to source your ingredient from from the halal sources, from halal certification body, from valid halal certification body. Okay, for semi-critical ingredients such as soy sauce. So soy sauce is known as a product which derived from plant-based product. However, why we say it is semi-critical? Because along the process, it involves a lot of process such as fermentation, such as cleaning, such as you need to ensure that the bean is dry properly. So sometimes the process is not halal, it's not hygienic. So because of that, it's become critical. Even though the raw material is non-critical, but because of the process is critical, so as a result, it become critical. So that's why we call it as semi-critical. It is from critical, and it's also part of it is semi-critical. So we have to provide necessary document. The best is to have halal cert, but if you don't have halal cert, you may also provide product specification or product process flow. So from that particular document, we can determine whether the product is are made in good conditions or not. All right.
Thank you very much for your answer. It was very clear the difference between both. I just want to highlight something in here because many people are asking if the slides and the recording is going to be shared. And yes, it is going to be shared. We're going to send it through email to the email that you used for logging into this session. We're going to upload it as well on ConnectAmericas. I've sent the link through the chat, and it is also going to be found on our YouTube channel. So you can know that you're gonna still be able to take a look to all this insightful information shared by Mr. Mohammed. I know, Mr. Mohammed, that you already talked about this, but we still have some questions. And if regarding services, is it possible to have the halal certification for services? We had a particular question through the box, through the question box that we sent on Tuesday, and this is an example of an entrepreneur who's a nutritionist and is very interested to have the halal certification in order to attend Muslim patients. Is it possible?
Yeah, it is possible. Halal certification is consists of product and services, of course. However, it's depend on the country itself. Yeah, for example, in Malaysia, we have two types of certification: services and products. Yeah, but we only offer to international market only for products, not services. So you can have halal certificate from Malaysia. You can bring your product to Malaysia by having Malaysia halal certification only for cosmetic, supplement, food and beverages product, and as well as consumer goods. Okay, for logistic, we don't do certification for international company. Yeah, so it's up to you. I think the best is to understand the that particular country requirement. For example, you want to bring your product to Indonesia, you need to understand Indonesia requirement. Yeah, for example, Indonesia's government, they will ask you to get certification from their government. You cannot simply use other certification bodies logo. Yeah, so it's very subjective. It's also subject to any particulars, any requirement by particular countries. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. And if we have products which are plant-based and they are already organic certified, would it be easier to get the halal certification?
Yes. Welcome to the halal world. You can fast track your application and become halal certified. Number one, you are 100% plant-based. Number two, because you are organic. So actually, organic and plant-based is part of the element and definition of halal. So it simply can be halal certified. So welcome to the halal. So for me as a Muslim, I will always choose that kind of product. Okay, so peace of mind. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to know that, because I know that we have a lot of companies which are already organic certified. Nevertheless, as you mentioned, I think that they have to take into consideration the other ingredients. This specific example was plant-based, but if they contain other ingredients which are not halal but still are organic, I bet that it won't be that easier, right?
Yes, that's true. Because organic is also cover animal. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yes.
So I'm gonna give a couple of minutes so you can share with us more questions. I see that everyone saying thank you, and we still have a lot of questions regarding where can they get the halal certification. I know you answered this last session, but while we receive more questions, perhaps you can say it again.
No problem, no problem. So since you are I think they come from various countries, right? So they need to look at,
from all Latin America.
Yeah, so they need to look at their country certification body, or they can always ask us. We can direct them, we can guide them, no problem. They can write an email to us, then we can show them. And Colombia, I don't think we have halal cert in Colombia. I don't think we have halal certification body in Colombia, right, Miss Intan? I don't think we have. In Colombia, there is no halal certification body recognized by us. Maybe we can start one.
Yes, we should.
Yes, we should.
So I think that this would be all for now. We've received some more questions, but there are some of the same that you've already answered. So I invite you all to take a look at the recording of this session, as well as the recording of the last session we held last week. I'm going to send the link right now through the chat, where you can find our previous session. And there will also be the information of today's session about tomorrow or so. So we want to thank you very, very, very much. We want to thank the Serunai team for all your help, William as well for your translation. We're gonna see each other soon, so please keep an eye on your email. We're gonna send you more webinar invitations. We have a coming webinar that is gonna be about Muslim tourism. Serunai is gonna be presenting this webinar as well. So I hope you can all join. Thank you very much as well. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts and questions through the chat. And please remember that Serunai's contact information is info@serunai.com. So thank you, Itziati, Ann, Intan, Muhammad, Will, and see you on our next session of Muslim tourism.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.